All right, so we're finally live on YouTube. Woo, woo, woo. It's our first live on YouTube. I'm Sean. I am a certified Ross instructor. Hopefully, you can see me. Um, if not, I apologize. Let's go and get started. And I'm going to first tell you what I've done to the canvas, and then I'll show you the colors, and then we'll get rolling. All right, so I've got an 18 by 24 inch canvas, just like Bob used. And I've prepped it with some black gesso down here at the bottom. Just went kind of straight black gesso and then made little indications of trees way off in the background there. After that, I let it dry for about 15 or 20 minutes because it is acrylic paint, but it's water-based, so it'll dry fairly quickly. Actually, I painted this or started this yesterday afternoon, so it's well dry. Then I took a mixture of Prussian blue and midnight black, and I just covered this bottom third with that because I know we're going to have some snow here. This painting is called Arctic Sunrise, and I think you're going to like it. I hope so. All right, so let's look at our colors today. We have titanium white, got the aforementioned Prussian blue and midnight black. We've got some dark sienna, Van Dyke brown, alizarin crimson, and then just a couple of yellows. This is Indian yellow and yellow ochre. All right, so we are ready to rock and roll. All right. So the way the scene's going to set up is we've got a sunrise, and so we're going to go with some yellow over there. So let's start with that one. So I'm just going to get a little bit of the Indian yellow on my brush. Doesn't take a lot. I think this is a painting anybody can do. If I can do it, you can do it. Hopefully you can see that. There's not a whole lot of yellow. We'll take our 1-inch brush and bam, we're just going to fire that in there. Some nice yellows. As the sun is kind of coming up from this side of the painting. Maybe it's just off the canvas there. I don't know. Maybe it's behind the trees. Maybe it's behind, there's going to be a mountain here. Maybe it's behind that. Who knows? Add a little bit more of our Indian yellow, say about a third of the way into the canvas. And then we'll start mixing in a little bit of yellow ochre. I really love both of these colors. Yellow ochre is a very kind of gold. If the Indian yellow is more maize, this is more gold. We're just going to kind of do that. We're doing these little X strokes. Show you, we're going like that. And notice I have the bristles horizontal. I don't go vertical. Keep them horizontal. Okay. Maybe a little more yellow on that brush. This is the yellow ochre once again. Coming down into there. Very nice. Now it's time to get a little crazy. Okay, we're going to go with some crimson. And start working that alizarin crimson right in there. Now we're going to have blue on this side, so that crimson is very important because it's going to act as a barrier so we don't get a green sky, because green skies are not fun and nobody likes green skies unless you're going for a green sky, in which case go for it. But that's not what I'm going for today. Let me just step in front of the camera here, come back over here. Just gotta check something out real fast. Just ignore me. Most people do anyways. And let's see, I'm trying to figure out how to see your comments if you're commenting. It's not so easy, but oh well, I'm not seeing any right now. Hopefully we'll get this figured out. But all right, we've got some more of our alizarin crimson. We're just going to come back in here just like that. Haven't figured it out. I'm not the best when it comes to technology, that's for sure. Maybe this comes over here. I don't know. Maybe there's like some indications of some clouds way back in there. Maybe kind of like that. That'll be nice. Okay. Get a little more of that red, that alizarin crimson. Ooh, boy, that came out strong. And because that we've got that liquid clear on the canvas, it is going to be a case where these colors are just going to pop. They're just going to pop. They look very cool. Very nice. Look at that. All right, now it's time for some fun. Get some blue. And this blue has a little bit of midnight black in it. And I'm just using the same old dirty brush. I haven't cleaned it. Okay. And same kind of idea. I'm going to come over here. Woo, boy, that is dark. That is powerful. When it mixes with that crimson, you're going to get just the hint of lavender right in there. And that's very nice. Don't go and mess that up. Just let that happen. Those are those happy accidents that Bob talks about. People are going to be wondering, how in the world did you get that? Another piece of advice, just paint like you don't care. Just paint like you don't care. Okay? If you paint like you don't care, you'll be surprised how much better it comes out. I know that's counterintuitive, but it's really true. All right. Take a step back. I suggest you take a step back every few minutes. Wow. That looks pretty cool. And see what you've got. I'm really liking it. I'm really liking this so far. I think we're about ready to blend that sky. So we're going to set the palette down, set that brush down. I'm going to get a clean, dry 2-inch brush. This is the big Bob Ross 2-inch brush. And we're going to start over here. And we're just going to do this. Same process, but it's clean. That's the only difference. Just doing those little X strokes. By the time we're done, you guys should be experts doing those little X strokes. And then come over here into the red. And you can pull some of that red that way. Just starting to pick a little bit of it up, and that's okay. Because that blue will eat the red up big time. Okay, come back over here now. But do not get it dirty with blue and come over here. That would be a disaster. Not that I've ever done anything crazy like that, of course. But I'm just saying, you don't want to do that. Of course, I know that. I do these long horizontal strokes. And this is very nice. This is about the third time that I've actually done this painting. Both times it sold pretty quickly. People seem to like these colors. All right. So we'll set that to the side. Let me just cut in front of the camera for a moment. Let's see what's going on here. All right. It's still not letting me see everybody's comments, assuming that there's any comments going on. Sorry about that. One of these days I'll get this technology stuff figured out. Probably not now. All right. Let's see here. Where are we at? Okay, so now let's get a 1-inch brush. Quit fiddling with the technology. Just going to assume that nobody has any questions. We're going to come up here. I'm just going to get a 1-inch brush. A fan brush. This is the big number 6. And just going to load it full of that titanium white. Okay. Can even wiggle it through, but load it full. All right. There we go. Just a whole lot of paint. That is a lot of paint. We're going to set our palette down. We're going to come up here. I want to put some clouds in this sky. I think it looks great as is, but this will show you how to do clouds if you want to. I'm going to show you real slow at first, and then I'll pick up the speed. I'm going to come up, and I like to think of it as I'm doing commas. And I'm just kind of squeezing the paint, and I'm doing little comma strokes. That's really all there is to it. Okay. Once your brush starts to break apart, just come get some more paint. It's not a big deal. And I try to do 3, one coming into the scene, one kind of in the scene, and then one going out, something like that. So we'll come up here. We'll just do a few more, just so you have an idea of how to do these. You can even kind of flatten up the bottoms You know, they have those kind of flat bottoms, just like that. Get some more paint on the brush. But you do have to have a fairly good amount of paint. And then it's just, again, paint like you don't care. If you're trying too hard, these things tend to not go as well. Okay, that looks like a mess. So let's see, get that 2-inch brush again. I'm gonna come up here and we're just gonna blend out the bottom, blend out the bottoms. And I'm varying the pressure when I'm doing this, but I'm also trying to be sure I don't really touch the tops. Don't want to touch the tops. Kind of blend that out. You can come up, oh, it's on me somewhere. Come up here and just lift those clouds. Lift those clouds. You can even, now this is like half a hair and some air. I'm coming that direction. There we go. Do the same thing here. Just kind of blend it out real fast. This isn't really the main feature of this painting. Okay, come up here. And this is not a Bob painting. This is a Sean painting that I did. First painted it a couple years ago on TikTok Live. You can hear one of my dogs. He's complaining outside, probably chasing a squirrel or something. All right. Knock off some of that extra paint and we're good to go. Take a step back again. Every few minutes, try to step back. I'm liking this. This is looking pretty good. All right. Now it's time for the big, most important part, and that's the mount. So we're going to make a little mix. I'm going to get some Midnight Black, some Dark Sienna, some Van Dyke Brown, and some Alizarin Crimson. And this is a pretty big, if you can see that, pretty big pile there. We're just going to mix that all together. Then come from the side, go back, mix that all up. It should be really dark. It seemed too black to me. A little bit of Prussian blue here. I think that'll help. We're going to use this throughout a good portion of the painting. And that blue is very strong. There we go. That's what it needed. Just take it from side to side. Pull it flat, as flat as you can get it. Get your little roll of paint on your knife, set your palette down. And now it's really time to get serious. Okay. We're going to come up here, and our mountain's going to live right up in here. Maybe it comes down. This is a big old mountain today. Comes down just like that. Get some more paint. We had some peaks. There was a peak that was kind of right in here. Then he had a little kind of some bumps in the background there. It comes that way. Get some more. There should be another peak right in there. Goes off the canvas. We're going to get one more. We got one more peak. And this guy, he lives right there. What he does now. Sure does now. All right. You just take this paint and just scrape as much of this dark paint as you can get. You don't need most of it on there. It's still there. It's you could never get it completely off. But we don't want too much paint on here. Otherwise, our next step is going to be not the easiest thing in the world. That over there. All right. Now I've got a dirty brush here. Just going to use this dirty old brush, 1-inch brush. Come up to the mountain. Just pull it. Just pull it. This is another way of helping to get some of that extra paint off. Okay. And then just come down. Ooh, that's dark today. Pull that. Come up here. Make sure you know where you're touching. It's very easy to get lost and ruin that edge. And that edge, that shape, that's what we're worried about. We're not concerned about this stuff down here. And this is of no concern. Just come down. Just like that. Pull that, pull that. Okay. Now, from where I'm standing, it's okay to do this, but usually I try to come in this way. Okay. Just lay the brush flat and you'll get some good results from that. All right. Here we go. I think we're looking pretty good now. I like how it's kind of misting out down here. Try to not make it so symmetrical, and we'll fix that with highlights. Speaking of which, let's do those highlights right now. Put that in the thinner, let them soak, get a paper towel. All right, let's clean this off. Boom. Okay, so I'm gonna come up here. You're gonna take your paint and you're gonna pull it flat. Get it as flat as you can get it. If it has a little bit of dirtiness from the knife, that's okay. Believe me, when we come up here, you're not gonna see any of that. This white is gonna pop. All right, take your knife. This is very important. Got that little roll of paint. But then hold your knife very delicately. I mean, hopefully you can kind of see. I'm just barely holding this knife. Okay. I'm going to come up here. Going to let it touch. No pressure though. No pressure. And just float down that mountain. Get another roll of paint. And then, I don't know, we'll come up here. Whoop. Maybe it comes like that. Got to make those noises. And then just right down. Just right down. Very, very carefully. Very gently. Another roll of paint. You see this peak over here. Can't leave him out. You get angry. You don't want angry mountains are the worst. We don't want that. Just kind of come up in here, jiggle our hand a little bit. You got a little bit of a nervous shake. This is, as Bob used to say, this is for you. Hey, you'll be great at this. Okay, come down here. Just maybe it comes up right in there. That just helps to break up those lines. Okay. Just getting more paint. Come over here. Right down. Look at that. Beautiful. But you need the right equipment. You need the right products, the right amount of pressure. And this is something you can do. Okay. You just use any old paint, it's not going to work. Okay. Kind of come up here, connect that to that. There we go. The sloppier, the better. Okay. Get some more with that white paint. Can kind of come back in here and add a little bit. Okay. Oh, that's too symmetrical for me, but that's okay. We'll fix that. Just let it graze the canvas. Just let it graze the canvas. Just like that. Wow. Perfect. Perfect. Love it. You can do this. Just takes a little bit of practice. That was the third P. I stole the idea from Paint with Josh. Not that he's watching my little channel, but I thought I'd give him credit. I don't know if he still says that. It's been a while since I've really watched any other painter, unless it's Nicholas Hankins or just the Bob Ross stuff. All right. Come down there. There you go. If you're doing it with just the right amount of pressure, which is none, you're going to get this kind of breaking in here. Okay. Come up here. Maybe. There we go. Just like that. Maybe this guy comes down here. Just like that. There we go. You got to do those noises. Got to do those noises. It's not going to come out as good looking as this. That's the key. Okay. All right. We've got plenty of highlights, I think. So let's get some blue and some white. I'm going to mix it together. I'll kind of show you. Just going to leave it marbledy. Is that a word? I know Bob says that. Wonders if that's a word. I don't know. My wife's the English teacher. I should ask her. Now for this one, I'm going to take my little knife. He makes 2 palette knives. I'm going to take the smaller one. Set that to the side. We're going to come up here. Just, there we go. Got that little shadow right in there. Very nice. Up in here. This is the same thing, except notice the angles. I'm coming at a different angle, okay? And that's really important. It's probably the biggest thing that I see with my students when I'm teaching classes is that they'll just come up here with a knife and they'll automatically start coming down this way. But remember, you got to come to the right first, and then your shadows are to the left, okay? Come up here, put a little bit of paint on this guy. Take a step back. It's been a moment since I stepped back. Let's see what it's looking like. Wow, that looks pretty decent. It looks pretty good. I think I'm happy with that. Just come right down through here. Can you turn your knife to the side? If it's really tight, you can use that small edge up here. Okay, kind of coming. I'm gonna, sorry, I don't know if you can see this. Hopefully I'm not too much in the way. I'm gonna go like that. Maybe put in a few little doers right in here. There's some right in there. I don't know. Just like that. Take a step back, see what you think. It's looking pretty good. Told you can do this. You can absolutely do this. People say, well, you know, I'm not very good at art. Neither was I. I've not had an actual art class in a long time. Let's just put it that way. There was no internet back then or YouTube or anything. So you can do this. All right. I learned all this from watching Bob and really taking classes with Nicholas Hankins in Florida. What a deal that was. Suggest you should watch Nick. He's on the YouTube channel for Bob Ross, and it's just amazing. All right, I see a little spot there where I didn't put any highlights, so we're gonna come back. Make sure if you've got your big knife now, it's dirty, so let's clean it off. If it has a little bit, that's okay, but we don't want a whole lot. Come back, pull that white flat. There's our little roll of paint. Maybe this guy comes right down like there. Get some more paint, kind of solidify that up. Put in a little ridge line. I'm going to solidify this. Again, just very little pressure on that snow. Very little pressure. This feels like there should be some more right in there. Okay. Maybe right in there too. I don't know. Right, when you do yours, you put the paint wherever you think it should be. I think we should have a little bit more right in there. Maybe kind of like that. Okay, perfect. Take a step back. See what you think. There we go. One more little shadow area. And I think we're good to go. Maybe that ridge kind of comes down around there. All right. Now comes some fun. This is a very delicate touch. I know when Bob's doing it, it looks like he's coming in here at 200 miles an hour and beating the devil out of the canvas, but don't beat the devil out of the canvas, okay? Take your brush and just lightly tap. And we're going to make this mist, this misty effect, kind of blur out some of that mountain there, some of that bottom. Make sure that you're coming to different heights, because otherwise it's going to look like somebody took a knife and chopped your mountain off, and we don't want that. Okay, just come in here real nice, maybe a little bit higher right there, maybe a little lower right there. We're just tapping, tap, 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 maybe a little bit higher up here. Just kind of vary it. That's all that you have to do. Just vary, very, 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 very. That is really cool. Okay. Since I can't see the chat, just if you're wondering how long I've been painting, I started painting. My first painting I did in the mid 90s. Just kind of blur that out. It's not going to really matter. This right here isn't going to matter. Lift up, take out those tap strokes. But then I stopped because I was on active duty in the Navy, and it was hard to take stuff with you and living on base and all that kind of thing. And then I just never picked it up again for some reason until about 10 years ago. And it was like starting over. Same thing with the blue. Lift up, lift up, lift up. You just take this. And there we go. All right. And kind of. So really, I haven't been painting since maybe about 2015-ish, give or take. All right, we're going to step back. I'm really liking this. I think I'm liking it. Okay. We're going to set our palette knives to the side. I probably should clean them, but that would be the smart thing to do, and I'm not going to do the smart thing. I'm going to come up with a fan brush, and this is a big Bob Ross number 6 fan brush. Just get it full of that dark color. Maybe add a little bit of blue to it since we still have some there. That'll help darken it. Okay. Set your palette to the side. Come up here. We're going to do, Nick calls these tap and crash. Tap and crash. Just going to solidify what we already did with that black gesso. Okay. As your brush breaks apart, just feel free to reload. Vary the heights. Switch to the other side. You don't have to do a lot. So we already got that black gesso there. And so that's really cool. That really does help. It comes a little higher there, and then I don't know, it comes up in there. Originally, I had one, if you can see it, I had some that were way up, really up high. So we'll go ahead and do that there. What the heck? What the heck? All right. So we got a lot of dark color. And now we're starting to meet where I put that blue and black mixture. Okay. All right. Let's take a step back. Once again, check where you're at. All right. We're all right there. Come in with your brush. Now this old fan brush still has some white. And I'm just going to go straight up. I'm doing this very light just to make it look like, oh, there's all sorts of little trees and tree branches way back in the distance there. We don't know where they're at. We don't really care. Okay. You can barely see those probably, but they're there. They are there. Now, work into the foreground here. And we're just going to come with our brush. We're going to start putting in some snow. Just like that. Got to say that. Got to do the noise. Just like that. Wow. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? It looks like it's got all this snow and there's shadows. And I've not really done much, truth be told. Okay. Just taking a fan brush. And I'm literally just moving it side to side. I'm telling you, anybody can do this. Anybody. That's why I say, if I can do it, you can do it. This is not that hard. Okay, we're gonna just keep going. just like that. And none of this is really that important. Like I said earlier, the feature of this painting is the mountain. That's what we wanted to take the most time with. I think we did. I think we took about 15 minutes. Um, Obviously, you're painting at home. You can take several hours and just really do much better than me. But I'm painting this live, so we gotta move along. Let's put this snow right in here. It would move faster if I was using a 2-inch brush or a 1-inch brush. It's okay. Let's come in just like that. Look at that. Wow. Gorgeous. Absolutely amazing. I'm always impressed with this. It's so easy. Like I said, if I can do it, and I am not the world's greatest artist, but if I can do it, anybody can do it. You can do it too. Okay. Cool. Now we could go all the way down if we wanted to, but I think I'm going to leave it right there. Maybe, I don't know, maybe in here. If you wanted to, you could pull this down, make some reflections. I think I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave it just as it is, at least for now. We're going to come in, get another thin roll of paint. I don't know if you can even see it. This is a very small roll of paint. We're just going to come up here, and now I'm going to press very firmly, kind of like I would do if I was doing water on the beach, in a seascape. We're going to do that. We're going to, hopefully, it'll give the illusion that there's like snow and ice and all sorts of stuff up here. Who knows? Just that way. That'll tie that up. Tie that together very nicely. Maybe there's some back in here. There's some right back in here. Maybe there's some right in there. And the messier, the better. I've found. Don't try to make this perfect. Just let it happen. Let it do its thing. You can take your fan brush and tie it together this way. Wow. Look at that. Look at that. Really nice, really cool. Very nice, very nice. Somebody famous one said. All right, come in here. Kind of the same thing. Just gonna scrape it, scrape it, scrape it. There's all this snow and ice down here. Who knows what's going on? I don't know. But it does look pretty cold. I'm here wearing shorts today, which is pretty normal for me, and probably should have been wearing a jacket. Oops. Get a little oopsie. That's okay. Just kind of come in here. Maybe it's kind of like, there we go. It's looking better to me. All right. Not enough paint on that one. Comes out that way. And we're just about done. So we're going to pull that together. There we go. Just pull it back so it kind of all blends together. Beautiful. Beautiful. Just barely pull that back. There we go. There we go. All right. Just a couple of little details to do. Now, I always put one bird in the sky for each of my dogs who's no longer with us. We've had 4 miniature schnauzers that we've sent over the Rainbow Bridge. So we're going to put 4. One's for Chuck. He was our first. And it's a little too watery. Got to be careful because that is liquid clear up there, and that one came out a little too watery. That's okay. We'll just kind of do some surgery on him. There he is. And then one for a second, Dolly. Do a third. This is for Eleanor. And then sadly, we've got a fourth one, and that's for Grace, who just passed a couple months ago at the age of 15. There we go. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. I think we're right around the 35-minute mark. If I had to guess, take a dry brush, you can kind of fix that a little bit, but oh well. Oh well. Not perfect. Kind of messed up on that bird, but I'll live with it. So until next time, I'm Sean. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you on the next painting. Okay, so we're back. Now, if you watched the live, you know I wasn't happy with the way the Chuck bird came out. You can probably see it right there. It's still messed up and it's bugging me because I would like, hopefully somebody will purchase this painting, but I would not sell it to you as it is. So I'm going to show you how to fix that. And the fix is actually pretty easy. I'm going to take this is the big number 6 Bob Ross fan brush. And we're just going to put a tree right there. Okay? And I know Bob said on numerous occasions, trees will cover up a large variety of mistakes. So here we go. I'm just going to come up in here. Next thing you know, oops, I covered up my mountain. That was a part of the mountain I really liked too, but oh well. Just put in a quick little tree there, little evergreen tree there. Of course, I'm gonna have to put Chuck back in, but we'll take care of that in a second. If you got one, everybody needs a friend. So we're gonna put in 2 little pine trees. Just right in there. And we'll say there's a third, but he's off on the side. You can't see him, although maybe you can. Maybe he's just kind of right there. Kind of fill all that in. There we go. 3 pine trees or evergreens or whatever. Okay, I'm going to take that Bob Ross, it's the same brush. It's just, well, it's a clean one that I was using for white, not dark. I'm going to put a little bit of paint thinner because that's a lot of paint up there. So we're going to thin this paint down. And he's not really jumping off like I want him to. So take a little more. You want to do this in drops. If you do this all at once, you just go in there with this big poof of paint. That's the official artist term, by the way. It's not going to work. All right. Just kind of go up here and highlight. Still taking off quite a bit of blue. It's going to mix together. There we go. Come back. Same thing. Get all this snow up there. Very nice. Very nice. Boom, 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 boom. And in a few minutes, you fix that mistake. Maybe put a few little bushes down there at his feet. And then take that, tie it into the painting. Kind of, there we go, just like that. Just like that. There we go. Very nice. Now we're gonna come back. We're gonna put Chuck back in because that was Chuck. Here's our first miniature schnauzer. It's been going for about 8 years now. Over the Rainbow Bridge. All right, let's get that liner brush to a sharp point. Much better. Get a little more paint. And still see, don't want it to, there we go, that's better. Not careful here, I'm gonna have more trees on this painting. There we go, just like that. And that's how you make a repair. Happy painting.